Hey guys, Adam here from Lawn Hub and welcome back. Today we're at my place. It's been nearly a year since I've shot anything here because really not a lot's been going on. But today we're gonna do a full putting green home renovation, so stick around. Alrighty guys, so for those of you who don't know, this is my putting green, my attempt of a putting green. At the moment it's not in really good nick. Basically it's a Santa Ana base with some Pencross bent grass which has been oversowed in. So when it's popping, but when it's not, it's really not. So I didn't really have that much dramas with the bent grass in the summertime here last year, even though it did get to the low 40s here in South Australia where I live. So basically the plan of attack today is we're going to do a full renovation. We're going to scalp, scarify, core and top dress, and then we're going to overseed again with the bent. So the idea, or the reason that we do a full renovation is to relieve compaction that can be caused over the years. Also want to get some nutrients, oxygen and water to that root zone, and just a general freshen up. Like for me, it's my favorite part of the year. There's no better time in the lawn care like sort of program, I suppose, if you want to put it that way, than a renovation, because it gives you the best opportunity to get your lawn exactly how you want it for the summertime, and it also allows you to rectify problems that you may have experienced last year. So we'll start with a snip around the edges, get them nice and crisp, then we'll get straight into the scalping. All right guys, so I've done the edges. It might have looked like that I butchered that a bit, but this gets me excited, I just, especially up the back there, it just grew too high. Don't be too pedantic about it, because we are essentially damaging the grass to make it look better later on. Now, I just want to talk about these, I think 4 or 5 real dark patches I've got here in the green. Basically, Kaiku from the street made its way in. No matter how many times I picked it out, it just kept coming back. So I just ended up dumping some glyphosate on it and it died. There's absolutely no Kaiku in the green anymore. And just quickly, I want to touch on, this is how I renovate my putting green. It's how I renovate the lawns that I do work on. You may have a different way, that's completely fine. As long as the end result is what you want it to be, that's fine. So I've lowered the rover a bit, about a couple turns lower than what I normally would. And I'm just going to use that to completely scarify, or completely scalp this lawn, and yeah, get the good stuff going. So this tool will probably need no introduction, but for those of you who don't know, this is the Ryobi scarifier. So basically we've removed all the above ground thatch. So especially up in the back there, it's really quite brown and stalky. So the rest of the lawn is, I suppose what we say, has a lot of below ground thatch where we've mown the lawn on a lower setting. We have then not collected that because it just didn't cut. So that's where a scarifier comes in, removes the below ground thatch. So you'll notice I'll leave the bagger off for a few passes to show you the below ground thatch that's going to pull out, and then I'll chuck it back on because it makes quite a mess. So we'll get stuck into that. So just by one pass there, guys, you can see how efficient this tool is. And I mean, like, that's not dirt. That's all green material and runners and all that sort of stuff that's sort of trapped below the surface, which is what this tool's designed to do, to remove. And I mean, Duff just said on the camera then, he's like, geez, I wasn't expecting that. So that's what's going to be locked up in the green a lot. It's very thatchy. And yeah, this is what the Ryobi scarifier is good for, and any other scarifier for that matter. So that's what we're pulling out, all those. That was, like, obviously the green is above ground, and then all this material is what we're trying to remove. Well, that's done a really good job. That's exceeded my expectations with how much thatch there actually was in the green. I knew there was thatch in it, but wow. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean it up with the rotary, because there's just too much material here for the cylinder. Once I'm happy with the rotary cleanup, I'm going to go over with the cylinder and then just give it that one last cut, and then it will be coring time. Alright guys, so just to recap what we've done so far, we have snipped the edges, we've scalped, we've scarified, now we've tidied up, and I've already filled my green bin, and that's just off 30 squares. So yeah, just goes to show you how much material is actually lying in the turf. So the next step in this whole process is coring. Now that can be done via a machine, manually. I've seen people in the forums now get big fat drill bits and just drill holes. I mean, I suppose it would work, I'm not sure, but this one is the multi-tool by Moparts Oz. So George has kindly donated this for the purpose of this video. So it's got 4 tines in the bottom here, and basically the objective of this is, you punch down and then the cores shoot out. The reason I like this style of coring over, say, those Bluebird barrel ones is because you get a lot more control, or especially with a manual one, but with one of those, an old bowls green, like a lawn bowls green corer, or the one that Max has, which shoots straight down rather than a barrel. I prefer those, it's completely up to you, but I mentioned this on a few weeks ago in the weekly cut, and a few people wrote back asking if I'd use one. Well, about to use one. I've had a few practice shots, and yeah, it's a pretty good piece of kit. So yeah, these are going to be fun. So let's get started. believe it. I'm still standing. Oh. Done. Let these cores dry out. Rake them into a pile, collect them. If you had a longer grass, you could leave the cores there, but for the purpose of the putting green, we're going to remove them. So, we're going to have some lunch, and with the magic of filming, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we've just had a fine meal from Gawler Chicken Seafood. Anyone that's north of Adelaide and wants to experience a very good lunch, then I'd definitely recommend Gawler Chicken Seafood. Everything I lost in sweat I've now put back on in Euros, but that doesn't matter. So, as I mentioned before, the lunch break, yeah, I'm going to rake these cores up. Like I said, you can, obviously if you had a longer lawn, say that, you know, 1 to 2 inch mark, you could leave these cores, they'll naturally break down. But for the purpose of the putting green, I have to remove them. And as you saw with Irvo's lawn, when we took the cores from Clint's house and planted them at Irvo's house, you can actually plant a lawn from these cores, but yeah, I'm just going to dispose of them in the green waste bin. So get raking. Alright guys, so this is where my renovation will be different to most. So now I'm going to overseed the green. Something I didn't mention earlier is I've actually already applied a pre-emergent to the perimeter of the green, so I suppose the apron. So any overspray that I may get from the bent's not going to germinate, which I'm not very fussed about anyway if it did, but I can still vaguely see the outline of the green. So got my trusty spreader here. And then I've got some Pencross bent seed, which, yeah, I don't know how this is going to come up, but it is mighty fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do half rate now. So half rate on the green area, then I'm going to top dress my full top dress. Spread that out, then go over again with the other half rate of the rest of the seed, and then I'll lightly rake it in, roll it, fertilise, BBW, and water. So that is what is next. So this has a sowing rate of 1 kilo per 100 square meters. I think the green's like 20-ish. Obviously we're not doing a full seed, so I don't need much. This seed does go a long way. So let's get into that. Okay guys, so the chosen top dress today is the Lawn Hub top dress. This is available at Railways Landscape Supplies down at Ranella, down south of Adelaide. Now, living in Gawler, I live on the complete opposite side of the world to Railways. So Luke and the boys have been kind enough to get this down in a bulker bag to DC, which is where the Lawn Hub warehouse is, and I'm able to use it here on the lawn. So this Lawn Hub top dress is used on all golf courses, not all, but a lot of golf courses around Adelaide. So the difference between this, say, and a play pit sand is this has been triple washed, and all the particles of the sand are all different sizes. So what that basically means is it stops the sand from really compacting and really like gelling together, whereas play pit sands are very fine sand, which I've got in the front of the trailer here. And yeah, I've found that it can get really tight nipped and like really compacted. If play pit sand's all you've got available to you, then it's still gonna work. Like I've been using play pit sand on here for 4 years, so you know, you still do get a good result, but I had this available to me this year, so I thought, why not? We'll give it a crack. So yeah, trusty shovel, spread it out. It's simple as that. Right guys, so yeah, I've just flattened the lawn with the lawn leveler. You know, you can get, there's real expensive ones, that's just a cheap one, and you know, it does a pretty good job for me. You would have noticed that I've just raked some lines back again into my beautifully leveled lawn. That's for the seed to drop into. And then, yeah, I'll go over it again with the lawn leveler, just so we can get some good seed soil contact. And then it's, I'll talk about the fertilizer that we'll be using after I've got this down. Alrighty guys, so the lawn is nearly done now, it's time to feed it. But at the same time, we're also gonna put down our Scalping, which I spoke about in the weekly cut. If you only had the opportunity, or you can only sort of justify one product for the entire season, the Scalping's it, in my opinion. It's gonna prevent those nasty African black beetles that start popping up. All the eggs and all that are probably starting now, if not in a few weeks' time. But you won't see that damage till November and December, and then that's when everyone's posting in the forums, help, I've got this, I've got that, what do I do? My opinion, once you get grub damage, it's really like, it can take a long time to repair. So my motto is kill the bugs, because the weeds stay green. You can mow weeds and the lawn still looks green. So yeah, like I said, in my opinion, yeah, this is what you'd want to put down out of one product if you, like I said, if you can only justify one. At the same time, I'm going to be putting down some BBW, which is a granular wetting agent, and mini peel. Yeah, so I mentioned in last week's video, I'm not hiding it. This is one of the buckets that I purchased before I started at Lawn Hub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine all three together. So to make your product go as, you know, as far as possible, that's where the scales come in. So I've got about 30 squares here. So let's do, so I need, yeah, about 450 grams of a Scalping. Let's zero that out. Oh, getting to the bottom of the bag. Too much, take it back. $4.58. And then 450 grams of BBW's Finest. Wow. That's terrible.
Fuck hell. Who designed these buckets
A
though?
little bit more. A little bit less.
I like Castle. BBW bed.
There we go. And then $750 grams of Mini Peel's Finest. Good things happen to those who wait. There we go, 750 on the dot. Now, I've got gloves on. Yep, it's the old skin coloured gloves. So mix that all in together. And that is the end result. So, spread that out over the lawn. All Alrighty guys, so that's it. We're just watering in the product now. So over the next few days, those core holes will begin to fill in with sand. Luckily I've still got a lot of sand left over, so if I have some holes that have filled in with the sand that's around, but there's still obviously some depth there to fill some sand in, I will. Because I've got the seed there, I will be watering at 7, 10, 1 and 4 p.m. for about 4 or 5 minutes, just to keep that soil damp and not soaking, so the bent seed can germinate, and at the same time the Santarana can come back through. Hope you enjoyed. If you learned something, make sure you hit that like button. Pop down in the comment section below if you enjoyed, and if you didn't, make sure you also let us know so we can rectify that. But I think this one was a good one. Well, I think it was anyway. So Duff doesn't think so. That's okay. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to the weekly cut, make sure you go to the website, you scroll all the way down, you put your email address in and click subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Gawler mega chippy. Gawler mega chippy. Hey, yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid, and we're banned. Just swish and flick. Wingardium Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Oh.